Hello, this is Danny Raymond, the voice behind Ray's Guide. This video is sponsored by Awesun Remote Gaming Desktop. More on that later. I've been thinking and talking about cargo ships a lot lately, and during that time I also got to be thinking about what are the missing pieces of the cargo grid lineup. What I did think of has a real-world example, a real-world need, and a new and growing parallel need inside of Star Citizen. Because these new capital ships in the game, first the Polaris and now the Idris, are the blue water Navy ships, suited to be used on long-term deployments by crews. Part of what is not making this possible is that there is no bed logging on ships you do not own, requiring that the ship return to port at the start of any play session in order to have everybody reboard it. But two things are needed in the area of logistics. There is underway replenishment, in which in Star Citizen is the Starfarer. There's also something called Carrier Onboard Delivery, in which supply aircraft land on and depart from the flight deck. In the real world, this is being done with the C-2A Greyhound, which is currently being replaced with the CMB-22 version. Also, for shorter range, some of it is done by CH-53 Sea Stallion line of helicopters, for which I took more than a little design inspiration and the name inspiration. Before getting into the details of my design, a word from this video sponsor, Awesun Remote Desktop. Recently, with the Irad Club, I did my first complete run of the Hathor activity. But with a new patch and limited notice, I needed first to get a Pembroke suit, which proved invaluable, get my Asgard to the agreed-upon muster location, put in a Geo and some extra boxes, etc. Fortunately, I was close enough to my desktop to do that, but what if I'd been away and only had my phone? You can't play Star Citizen on your phone, but with Awesun Remote Desktop, you can play games on your desktop from your phone. Technically, that would be possible with any remote desktop solution, but what makes it actually useful for games is the extra features of Awesun, particularly virtual keyboards, which allow you to map locations on your screen to keyboard commands, essentially turning your phone into a hybrid of a monitor and a gaming keypad. Video will be smooth because of H.264 compression, and security is protected by 256 AES encryption. Find out more at sun.allray.com, because you never know when you might need it to save your Asgard. So, returning to Carrier Onboard Delivery in Star Citizen. Recently, on a game session with the Irad Club, I was tasked with bringing a Hull A to a Polaris for the purpose of loot back to base, theoretically permitting the Polaris to continue deployed for doing more missions. The Hull A fit nicely into the Polaris extra small hangar, but with the spindles extended, it was unworkably tight for actual operations, which limited its usefulness. So that set the parameters for my target Carrier Onboard Delivery vehicle. 64 SCU of cargo in just 232 SCU boxes, able to fit neatly in an extra small hangar, or as I put it, 64 on a postage stamp. But I also wanted to have VTOL with genuinely believable physics and mechanics, which meant I needed to get out my preferred 3D design software and prove that it could be done and not just said. So here it is, certainly in just concept form, the MISC Star Stallion, 22¼ meters long, 13¾ meters wide, and 5 meters tall when landed, which is well within the 24 by 32 by 12 meters metrics of an extra small, or size 2, hangar. The cargo uses a system heavily borrowed from the Stallion MAX, with the sides that fold up and the platform that drops down in order to expose the cargo grid. This from-the-side loading is particularly helpful when dealing with the Polaris and Idris, where the cargo lifts are to the sides, and when transloaded from other ships, when the cargo does not have to be threaded down a long, narrow cargo bay. Like the Stallion MAX, there is a central aisle running down the middle of the cargo ship, so that when using user-filled containers, inventory access can be made to the containers both from the inside and outside of the ship. The back wall behind the two seats contains suit and weapons access, as well as access to fuses and avionics components, as well as a set of flight stairs on the port side and a washroom on the starboard. There is no bed to save space, but this ship is tasked with making runs between places that do have habs or beds, so it's a sensible thing to leave off of the ship. The aisleway continues between the cargo to an engineering area in the back with plenty of space for a full set of small and medium components and a rear ramp for engineering access. The ship has 4-corner VTOL using the same technology that is used on the present-day F-35B, so this certainly counts as a believable VTOL setup. The rear turret is controlled remotely by the co-pilot and pops up when entered, leaving the Star Stallion being only 4 meters tall when the gear is retracted. So there it is, a proof of concept. 64 SCU that will definitely fit in an extra small hangar on the Polaris or the flight deck of the Idris with plenty of space to work around it. Which leaves only one question. Since this is a MISC ship, is there a Star Stallion MAX? This is a MISC ship. So yes, there is, and surprisingly it adds absolutely nothing in height and width, which means that although it is clearly too long for the Polaris hangar, it will still be able to be landed easily on the Idris flight deck, which means that with a double long cargo bay, it could be used to deliver the largest of torpedoes. Which, speaking of delivering torpedoes, maybe there could be a Stallion MIS? You know, like the Air Force sometimes just drops bombs by rolling them off of cargo planes on pallets. Hello, Private Idris. This is Stallion MAX inbound requesting permission to deliver a pair of size 12 torpedoes to you. Aye, let's have them. Roger, as you requested, letting you have them. Now, for an update on our giveaways, first we have the video contest recently announced that running until the September release, whatever that number is, with the reward being either the amazing all-encompassing assault lander, the Asgard, or the terrifying tactical carrier, the Starlancer TAC. And I'm officially expanding the rules to allow the location to be either the Hawthorne Alignment Facility or the ASD Data Facilities. See the reference video for the contest rules. Then we have our regular annual IAE Week giveaway for the shiny stainless steel series shipping ship, the Starlancer MAX. And then the Grow the Channel ship giveaway for the winner's choice in the marvelous multi-role mining meta, the Arasta, or the Benu Big Box Bargain Bazaar, the Merchantman. 1 entry per video for those 2 drawings. Be a member for automatic entry with each video, or just subscribe and comment with a secret word. And the secret word for this video is what shares the same 3-letter acronym as the popular video game Call of Duty. Fly safe, keep it real. I'll see you in the verse. This is Danny Raymond with Ray's Guide.